whole education system is teaching us not to believe our senses. And that word belief is pretty interesting when you look at this, because you say, I believe that we're on a flat earth, but in fact, I see that I'm on a flat earth, and I feel that I'm on a motionless earth, and I see that everything in the sky revolves around me. I also see that the sun and the moon are the same size. But I've been brainwashed to believe something very different from what I see. I've been brainwashed to believe that the completely flat horizon that I always see curves at some point. I've been brainwashed to believe that the motionless earth that I feel beneath my feet is actually spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. I've also been brainwashed to believe that the stars, sun, and moon that clearly spin overhead are actually, some of them we're spinning around, and there's this big spiral motion of planets and galaxies all spiraling, as NASA has told us. They also tell us that the sun is a big ball of burning light, and it's 400 times further away and 400 times bigger than the moon. Yet when I look out in the sky, I can see them to be both the same size.
Hey everybody, I'm Lily, and this is Our World. I'm about to go over to my friend's house to play, but it's raining outside. Now some people might be scared of the rain, but not me. I'm an explorer, so I'm gonna go get ready. Come on!
Well, I've got my raincoat on, but I should probably check the weather report to see how long this rain's going to last. Whew! It's NASA TV, and that's astronaut Sandy Magnus. The weather can wait. Let's see what she's talking about.
In order to go outside, we need to have special suits designed to do it. They're actually one-person spaceships, and they have to do everything to protect you that basically the space station does to protect us while we're flying through space at 17,500 miles per hour.
Wow, that's fast.
Getting lonely, getting old, can you feel me?
Miss Astronaut, if you're going through space at that fast at 17,500 miles an hour around the Earth, and then the Earth is moving around the Sun, and well, in the solar system, the universe, and they're all moving really fast too, how do you possibly hold on outside the ISS in your spacesuit?
Hey you, standing in the aisles with itchy feet and fading smiles, can you feel me? Hey you, don't help them to bury the light. Don't give in without a fight.
And so the engineers had to sort of take something like the space station and squinch it down to make it fit one person. Also, it has to protect you from the extreme environment of space. There's huge temperature swings whether you're in the sun or you're in the shade, and it has to be able to protect you from those temperature swings as well.
Cool! I guess my raincoat is a little like a spacesuit. It protects me from the rain, and it helps keep me nice and warm. I wonder what else spacesuits have to do.
It has to have a way to give you oxygen, and when you're breathing, of course, you're putting carbon dioxide back into the system, so it has to have a way to clean the carbon dioxide out of the air that's in your spacesuit. And of course has to have electricity or a power source so that all the other systems can run.
You mean run underwater?
I guess I'll have to get a spacesuit.
It also has to be flexible enough that you can move around and work in it. It can't be, a hard metal sphere that you just sit inside and float around in.
Looks like you're just floating around in it underwater to me.
I wonder why astronauts need to go outside the space station. Maybe Sandy will tell us.
Because I would think at 17,500 miles an hour, there would make a lot more sense to have everything protected inside the space station in the walls rather than outside where it can get damaged, much like a submarine.
What we do is we go outside in the vacuum of space in our special suits, and we perform tasks out there that need to be done. Some things, of course, we can do with robots, but for a lot of things you need a human being. And there's a lot of equipment on the outside of the space station that needs to be taken care of. It's kind of like in your house when your roof needs a repair, or the air conditioning that's outside needs to repair, or you have to go out to the garage and do something. It's kind of the same thing on the space station. We have a lot of things that are outside that need to have people go out and take a look at them and fix them.
But you didn't answer my question. My question is, why would you ever do that when you could have it protected inside? My house is not spinning at 17,500 miles an hour.
And when you guys are ready to come to NASA and help us with some of our problems of living in space, you'll have to help us design a spacesuit for going to Mars. And it'll be a little bit like the one for the moon, but the environment on Mars is different, and the materials there are different, and the gravity there is different, and so we'll have to come up with yet a different kind of design for a spacesuit.
Well, why would we want to do that? I don't even think we can get to the moon again if we ever went. Why would we want to ever go to Mars?
So what did we learn today?
Well, we didn't learn much at all. That makes much sense. I have a lot more questions. Well, I guess I'll ask Eric Dubay. Like, for instance, what is gravity, Eric? Can you tell me that?
That Isaac Newton made up so that Copernicus's spinning ball model would make any sense. And they said, oh, well, the reason things fall down is because there's this sucking force that pulls you to the center of massive objects. And of course, if that was the case, then we would be like magnetized to the Earth, and just stepping your foot off of the Earth would be like taking a heavy magnet off of a refrigerator, and stepping back would be like putting it back down again. And of course, they don't have a single example of any mass, by virtue of its mass alone, causing some other smaller mass to spin circles around or to stick to that mass because of its gravity. They say gravity just spontaneously happens when something's massive enough, and then non-massive things will either start spinning around it, like the planets, if that's what they want it to do, or they'll stick to it, like people, buildings, and the oceans, if that's what they want it to do. So gravity's their mythical magic force that causes us to stick to the mythical magic spinning ball Earth, when in reality, it's simple science. The natural physics of density and buoyancy determine that heavy things fall down and light things rise up. And they've been teaching us this crap in school since we're like 7 years old, so that we'll believe that oceans and buildings and people in Australia won't fall off the bottom of a ball.
And we learned that NASA is going to need us to help design spacesuits for new missions.
You mean new missions to the bottom of the pool? Because there's no way that piece of junk made it to the moon. Why lie, Eric, then? Can you tell me that? Doesn't make any sense.
People are always asking, why do they do this? Other than the obvious profit margin motive, NASA being the biggest black budget black hole in existence, sucking in over $30 billion taxpayer money for the fake moon landings alone. Nowadays, hundreds of billions of dollars, and not just NASA, but RASA and all the other fake space organizations around the world, giving CGI images for hundreds of billions of dollars. So this modern atheist Big Bang heliocentric globe Earth chance evolution paradigm spiritually controls humanity by removing God or any sort of intelligent design and replaces purposeful divine creation with haphazard random cosmic coincidence. And so by removing Earth from the motionless center of the universe, these Masons have moved us physically and metaphysically from a place of supreme importance to one of complete nihilistic indifference. If the Earth is the center of the universe, then the ideas of God, creation, and a purpose for human existence are resplendent. But if the Earth is just one of billions of planets revolving around billions of stars and billions of galaxies, then the ideas of God, creation, and a specific purpose for Earth and human existence become highly implausible. So by surreptitiously indoctrinating us into their scientific materialist sun worship, not only do we lose faith in anything beyond the material, we gain absolute faith in materiality, superficiality, status, selfishness, hedonism, and consumerism. If there's no God and everyone's just an accident, then all that really matters is me, me, me. So they've turned Madonna, the mother of God, into the material girl living in a material world. Their rich, powerful corporations with their slick sun cult logos sell us idols to worship, slowly taking over the world while we tacitly believe their science, vote for their politicians, buy their products, listen to their music, watch their movies, all sacrificing our souls at the altar of materialism.
Well, what does the flat Earth look like then if it's not a ball? Can you tell me that?
The azimuthal equidistant projection map that the USGS actually uses is the flat Earth map. The UN logo is another example of it. The UN logo is actually a flat Earth map with divided into 33 Masonic sections, by the way. But you can just type in flat Earth map on Google, and it's a disc shape. The North Pole is in the center. All the continents go out from there. And Antarctica, instead of being a ice continent on the bottom of the globe, it actually surrounds us 360 degrees. And how far that ice goes outwards is unknown at this point. So there's a cover-up. That's what the Antarctic Treaty is all about. That's why you can't independently explore Antarctica. And when people like Jarl Anderhoy try to go down there, they get turned away at gunpoint and put in prison. So there's a big cover-up there in Antarctica as well. I don't know how far the ice goes, whether there's an edge, a barrier, a dome, or infinite plane. But what we do know is that the Earth and the water is completely flat, for as far as we can see and as far as we've measured. And the horizon is completely flat, as far up as we go. All amateur rockets and all amateur balloons sent up over 20 miles, as high as they can go. The horizon is flat all the way around, and it rises to the camera all the way up, rises to the level of the camera. Now, this is totally impossible on a ball. No matter how big the ball was, as you rise up, you have to look down to see the curvature, look down to see the horizon. But what actually happens if you go up in a hot air balloon, the horizon rises right on up with you, the whole way up. Just keeps on coming up at eye level, as high as you're going to go. That's just impossible on a ball. If you think about it, if you're on a ball and you're in a hot air balloon or an airplane, you should not be able to see out your window, straight out your window, the horizon. You should have to look down, further and further down, the higher you ascend, to be able to see that horizon. But you'll never look down to the horizon on the Earth. It will always rise up to your level.
So why is the UN, the USGS, why are these official organizations using a flat Earth map as their official map? Why does NASA admit to using